We have got just a couple more weeks before some of the sort of go-to Trump personalities that we've had to become accustomed to over the past few years hopefully go away / get hired by CNN. One of them is Kayleigh McEnany, and just in time for her to mostly go away for a little while, Jake Tapper had this to say.
Well, there are some people that are such, they're just so mendacious, I just wouldn't put them on air. Kayleigh McEnany, I never booked her. Jason Miller from the Trump campaign, I would never book him. I mean, these are just people who they just tell lies the way that, most people breathe. And there was no value in that.
Okay, so a lot of people went crazy about this. Like, oh my God, Jake Tapper's saying it's not worth bringing her on. Now, look, in his sort of defense, he says that he hasn't had her on. I don't know for sure that that's true, but let's say that that's true and he hasn't had her on or whatever. Okay, fine. Everybody else is like, yeah, she's a liar. Let's not have her on. It's like, dude, she's going to be gone in a couple weeks as like a representative of don't pat yourself on the back now for weeding out the liars after they've already lost the election. It feels like stolen media valor to imply that now you're going to be fact checking.
Also, she was like on the payroll of CNN as a regular contributor. Just touting the exact same Trump line, the exact same thing for years before she was finally the press person. In fact, that probably got her the job as the press secretary for this administration because of how her sycophantry, which is what I'm going to call it, even if it's not a word, it's a word in Kayleigh's brain, all through CNN because they, still have Rick Santorum on the payroll. And they pretend to want to have this both sides BS, which I don't know. I think it's important to have right-wing voices mostly to make fun of them, but they give them so much clout and they really lift them up and they have them so consistently on when they bring nothing to the table, especially when they lie all the time. So anyway, yay, Jake Tapper, I guess. You've also gotten owned by Kellyanne Conway as like a job for the first year of the Trump administration.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because right after that video, he goes on to say, I consider Kellyanne Conway to be a little bit different. She's really more of a filibusterer. She's more of a subject changer. And I think is it Brian Stelter oddly was like, yeah, that's what she is.
Yeah.
And I thought, no. Well, I mean, sure. Yes, she filibusters, and she certainly changes the subject. She also blatantly lies. Like, maybe not as often as Kayleigh McEnany, maybe, but she's the alternative facts one, isn't she? Yep. She's the collusion, delusion, thing. She's the Bowling Green massacre one. What are you talking about? She's not a liar. The fact that she lies is why we know who she is. She could have just been some anonymous Trump aide if she wasn't constantly making news by blatantly insulting our intelligence on a daily basis. So whatever points Jake Tapper, I guess, deserves for supposedly not having Kayleigh McEnany on, he is 100% defending Kellyanne Conway's honesty when she doesn't deserve any of it.
Yeah. Oh, she just deflects. Yeah, that's another way of saying lying. Like she just gives me, other alternative facts. Literally, I mean, that made it's just funny because that kind of I don't know what he's trying to do because he already kind of made his name with the word alternative facts. And he was like, look, there's no such thing as alternative facts. Like he already got, I think, kudos to him and deserved valor for that one. But now toot your own horn about Kayleigh McEnany, coming out against the Trump administration and any of their stooges, this late into the game is just awards you the slowest clap ever, especially if you're on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, you put down the smallest violin to make the smallest clap, basically, for that. Very, very bold to be against them now that they're not going to be in power any longer. And by the way, what I'm hoping is that this is at least forward-looking. Maybe sure. Jake Tapper isn't going to be heading up a panel with those individuals in 2 months. Because are you sure that that's not going to happen? Kayleigh McEnany, in 1 year, we're not going to have forgotten who Kayleigh McEnany is. The media is they can't wait to especially with the fact that Biden won. What's that? They
might rehire her.
I think so.
I mean, is Jeff Zucker still the head of CNN?
Don't think so. I thought that
Oh,
they
he's
got
leaving.
a new person, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But anyway, with Biden winning, they're going to want to show that they understand the right or whatever by bringing in Trump people. Maybe it won't be her, but I feel like it's almost certainly going to be her. Anyway, I do want to give her response to this because everybody was responding to Jake Tapper, including her. She says, this is a therapy session for a broken network, and Jake Tapper is lazy enough to participate by lobbing baseless personal attacks with zero evidence. Jake's real problem: I do not leak, I do not lie, but I do call out the lies of the media, i.e. CNN Russia collusion hoax. Yeah, she doesn't lie. And it's like this is normally where, like, the spot in the show where we'd roll like 10 demonstrable lies. No, you already know. You don't need it. We could do it. It'd be fun, but we don't need it. She's a massive liar. She's an insane liar. She defended, him calling COVID kung flu, and like she will debase herself in defending the indefensible. So no, we're not going to engage seriously with that. Her pretending like her feelings have been hurt by Jake Tapper pointing out that the only reason she got the job is because Trump has faith that she will lie shamelessly for him.